perhaps we could talk about sort of a bit more about marketing and social media or posters and how to like get your name out there with social media and everything.
Talking about before, just being authentic, being honest, being nice, and through this, like I've ended up chatting to loads of record labels, quite well-known bands, and because of that, they end up listening to our stuff. And it's just I don't like thinking of it as networking, even though it is, but networking sounds so clinical. And it's just, with a lot of it, it starts out with me seeing a song by a band I like and saying, this is amazing, it reminds me of such and such. Them going, oh, I really like that band. And then just becoming a chat. And yeah, I honestly, I don't necessarily go into it with much of a plan, but you can get to know all sorts of people online through just mutual interests, really. And through that, they can find you. And yeah, it seems to work.
So I've become disappointed in the past where I'm like, I've done something that to me is a really credible achievement and it gets like 20 likes. And then I put a picture of me looking potentially quite nice and it gets 100 likes. And I'm like, oh, it's so frustrating because you want to be recognized for your music. But it's also understanding that people like faces, people don't like heaps of text. Just aside from social media, I think mailing lists are really important because that is something that you own. You've got your mailing list. If Facebook disappears tomorrow because the government decides that they don't like it, like in China, you can't get Facebook. If all of those social media channels disappear, what have you got that you've actually got that's yours? And those email addresses are actually gold dust. That is the most that's your real estate, if you like, because those are people that have already decided to engage with you. So when you're doing a gig, if it's in person, have a clipboard, have a friend who's saying, hey, would you like to sign up? Hey, would you like to, buy a CD or whatever merchandise you might have? Hey, did you know that there's another gig? But get those email addresses because that is a way of keeping in touch with people and just pop in their inbox. Create something that's newsworthy, don't spam them. But I think Sam mentioned high quality images. Try and make it look as professional as you can. Sorry, I'll shut up. Will next.
I was going to say on the email lists, like email contact lists, it's also really good to be consistent. Some of the best email chains I've got, for example, a musician called Funky and the Two-Tone Baby does a monthly newsletter. It isn't just news about gigs. He might post a video there, various things he's done, but it's every single month on the dot. And I actually do read through it because it's high quality, and I know it's when it's in my inbox, there'll be something interesting there. So consistency as well as quality is always good. Even on your social media, if you only post maybe once while you're just doing gigs or just trying to advertise and hammer it down, people will end up not listening to that. Try and make it as interesting as possible. Give little snippets of music, give little snippets of artwork. Don't just be trying to advertise and push all the time.
We can feel a bit shy about oversharing and do people really want to know? But I know when I've got an artist that I really like and maybe they live in another country, so the chance of me going to a gig is quite rare. I love seeing behind the scenes. I love knowing their process. I'm such a geek. If they're like, hey, I just wrote this song, I don't even know if I like it. I'm like, let me hear that. Let me hear it. If it's a work in progress, I don't care. If it's you playing with your cat, I kind of don't care. Just put that content in there because we want to know. This is the thing with artists. We really want to know them as a whole, whether that's the real whole that they're sharing. Hey.
I was going to say, the other thing is not just social media. Say if you have a gig, talk to the local press in a good time in advance, especially for small towns like Penrith, anywhere in Cumbria. We don't have a lot of news all the time, and actually I've had some amazing articles on gigs that I've put on just because it's happening. If you give a press release, which is different to a press kit, write a little bio about what's going to happen with the different bands, nice footage, And yeah, you know, you could potentially be seen to thousands of people, plus their websites and their social medias. And also ask the bands, if you're with a gig with bands, get every band to share stuff, not just yourselves.
Anybody's unsure what a press release is, 5 W's plus H. Who, what, why, where, when, how. Who's doing it? Where are they doing it? What are they doing? Give us the details. How do they get information? How do they book a ticket? Why is it exciting? Include a quote. I've noticed somebody's mentioned the BBC introducing a local radio. Absolutely, because then you're getting a little footing. I'm from Leicester originally, and there's Dean Jackson. He has actually launched quite a few careers because he does the East Midlands, Nottingham, so Nottingham, Leicester and Derby. And if you manage to get in with somebody like Dean, he could literally make such a huge difference to you, and you get paid. You've got your tracks registered with PRS. Once that track is on the radio, it might be pennies, but hey, you're finally actually making an income. And I think it's really important that we do treat this as a job as well. How are we going to monetize this? Because for all the best will in the world, we've got to get paid at some point as well. We have to.
But another really, really useful website is freshonthenet.co.uk, I think it is. It's run by Tom Robinson of Six Music, and they have a weekly, I think it's weekly, a Dropbox on SoundCloud where you can upload songs. Again, just upload your best ones, but they get listened to by the Fresh on the Net moderators. They include musicians, they include critics, they include Tom Robinson of Six Music, and then they select. It goes to a public vote. It's not a public vote that you advertise. So it quietly goes to a vote, and then if you're selected as one of the favourites, it goes up on the site. It can lead to airplay on Six Music. It did for us. The way my little brother got started was my first ever song I recorded. I sent to Fresh on the Net. It got picked as one of the favourites. Tom Robinson, it was his favourite of the week, so he played it on Six Music, which led to a few other people on Six Music playing it. And it was purely from uploading to a site that nobody knew I'd done it. I didn't tell anyone I'd done it. I didn't advertise it. So you can quietly just go, here, listen to this. And worst thing that would have happened is I didn't get a reply. And as it turned out, ended up getting airplay on, quite a lot of airplay, to be honest. It's a wonderful site, and it has loads of information for how to send a press pack, how to send press releases. It has advice on pretty much everything that is being asked tonight. To be honest, it's really worth going on Fresh on the Net. It's a really, really